There's nothing like a great outdoors to ease your soul. I agree with you on that, sis. Yeah, except for the bugs. That's the second mosquito I've swatted. Man, these pesky mosquitoes are almost like blood-sucking vampires. Speaking of vampires, this is what my story is all about for tonight. We all heard of Dracula, a legendary vampire known for his prey for blood and his wish to rule the world in darkness. But there are several kids who went to the abandoned cave only to find one blood-sucking creature who never seemed to get enough blood, even after he was put away in that cave. But this particular vampire is on a hunt for rebellious kids. I called this story The Tale of a Rebel Vampire. It was spring of 1995. A group of teenage boys were fooling around at a skating park. Their names were Billy, Joe, Mike, and Eric. One of them, named Joe, slipped from his skateboard, causing it to go into the woods, so they went after it. The boys managed to find not just the skateboard, but also a cave. Curiosity got the better of them, that they couldn't resist but explored the huge, dark, cold cave. Fortunately, it was daytime. The sunshine gave it some light, making it easier for the boys to see in there. They saw an old brown coffin. They believed that something was in there, so they gathered their courage and looked in the coffin. They opened the lid and found a man in a suit and cloak, in a deep sleep. The boys were so immature that they decided to draw a mustache on his face. Once it was completed, they ran out of the cave all the way back to the skating park. Those foolish teenagers did not know that they had just messed with a vampire. That night, the boys had their sleepover jam. They were having a time of their lives until there was a knock on the door. One of the boys, named Billy, went to go answer the door. Once he opened it, an unusual detective was standing on the welcome mat. He said that there was a break-in in the kitchen and he needed to investigate it. Once he walked in the house, the so-called detective asked Billy to show him the way to the kitchen. As soon as they made it there, the detective revealed himself as a vampire. He called himself Count Nightwing. He was steamed at the teenager and his friends for teasing him during his daytime nap. Despite his animosity toward the boys, a vampire stated that he was waiting for foolish people to come to his cave and discover his coffin. He longed to live forever by drinking blood to keep him alive. Nightwing thanked Billy and began to suck his blood. Afterwards, the unfortunate boy turned into a vampire. When his friends weren't looking, Billy and Count Nightwing began to feed on Joe, Max, and Eric. After every single one of the boys turned into vampires, their leader led them off to the night. The next morning, Billy's parents called the cops, but they found no trace of their son or his friends. This caused an urban legend to come about all over town, calling this creature as a vampire that catches young and rebellious teens to be more obedient. So it's best to watch your step Otherwise, if you step out of line, then the rebel vampire will get you.
Wow, that was spooky. I don't want to meet that rebel vampire. I always listed Jamel, Mama, and Vector.
That was awesome, hun. I give it 5 stars.
Amazing story.
I love vampire stories. Me too. Thanks, you guys.